As players fight to avoid mistakes on the field, remember to make smart choices off the field this holiday season. If you decide to drink and drive, you could get a DUI or worse. That one decision to drive impaired could change your life and the life of others forever. If you're going to drink, the only way to be the MVP this holiday season is by planning a safe and sober ride home. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.
Yeah, what's happening? We about to bring that action. Gotta hold it down for my Seattle Kraken. Ay, we going beneath the waves. We going beneath the waves. Get it hype, step onto the ice. Ready for some action, release the Kraken. Ay, we going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.
What is up, everyone? Welcome in to the Beneath the Waves podcast, your weekly recap of all things Seattle hockey and beyond. I am Matt.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Derek. Before we start the show tonight, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our very own Heather, who is still absolutely tearing it up for the Hockey News Women's, writing articles covering the Seattle Torrent. Now, PWHL hockey has been taking a little bit of a pause due to the rivalry series in which the US, the best country on earth, and Canada, the worst country on earth, have been facing off. Heather brilliantly details the Torrent players that have been popping off in that series, so it's really cool. If you are a fan of the Torrent, go check it out, because it includes a lot of the way that the Torrent players have been playing, including a notable Hillary Knight hat trick in this series. Okay, go off Hillary Knight, HK21. Go pick it up in the store. Also, huge of note is that Heather has had her last 5 articles in a row picked up by Yahoo Sports. So she's big time, guys. Big time. Started out in the lowly trenches with us buffoons over here at BTWSCA and is now absolutely killing it. Writing articles that are featured on Yahoo Sports. Guys, how do you feel about that?
I mean, that's awesome. Like, seeing one of our own hit these big strides is fantastic. I don't know if you guys watched any of the rivalry series, but as a Canadian, those were a rough 4 games to watch. I think it was like 21-7 outscored or something across 7 games or 4 games. It was pretty brutal, but it's good to see lots of those Torrent players making some strides in there. We had Hannah Bilka, Alex Carpenter, Hillary Knight, Serdachny, and Gosling on the Canada side. So getting some reps in, and then she had lots of little anecdotes from the practices as well for those that stayed back, including some interview snippets with CJ, which is a people's favorite. So go check those out.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome to see. Just remember us when you make it the big times like you already have. So don't forget us little guys. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's absolutely incredible to see. And yeah, with the rivalry series, as a Canadian, I'm just gonna forget about it. Let's just move on from that and let's welcome in the next couple games for the Torrent as they play this week.
Yeah, we'll just those are practice games. We'll worry about it when the
remember,
Olympics come.
Just remember to thank those American players on the Torrent because they're probably carrying the team. So let's go.
You know what? I still would like to just bring up 4 nations.
What
Game
about
1?
this?
Oh God.
For those in the audio only realm, I pulled up a old Zoom background that Heather made for Alex and I when we lost our World Juniors wager, and oof.
My favorite part of that is the 3-0 say can you see. That's
clever. That's clever. All right, for us over here, we are now on to episode 49 of the BTW pod. On this week's episode, we're going to try our best to catch up on the last week of games, check in on all of the Kraken news that is going on, and we're going to preview the week ahead as well. And what once started off as kind of the most exciting part of the week is now just the part that I'm dreading the most. So good thing we get it done off the top, because it is time to money puck around and find out. And we are certainly finding out. Alex, how does our wheel look today December the 15th, 2025.
On this day, December 15th, in the year of our Lord 2025, the Seattle Kraken look abysmal, pathetic, and useless. Money Puck has us sitting at a whopping 23.5% chance to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're back to reality. The Seattle Kraken of October and November are no more. They are just a figment of our imagination. We are just back to the years previously of what the Seattle Kraken are, and what that is just absolute dog malarkey. I hate to be the one that says it, because part of me was really hoping that what we saw in the first 2 months of the year was the true Seattle Kraken, but I'm sitting here going, well, I should have told everybody, I'm expecting this at this point. So I'm sitting here looking at this being like, God, this sucks. This absolutely sucks. Sitting at 23.5%, I was making fun of Maple Leaf fans because we were at such a high number compared to their low number. They're actually ahead of us now, so I even hate myself more about this. It's just depressing to be a Seattle Kraken fan. I feel like just going on such a high for so long, 2 months, not even, was so nice, and just to be thrown back down to reality is just like being curb stomped. It's horrible. I don't know about you. What are you both feeling on this new projection for Money Puck?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Or you want to go?
Sure. I'm going to repeat my mantra from past weeks of my mood will not be dictated by the wheel. My mood will not be dictated by the wheel. My mood will maybe be dictated by the wheel. It sucks. I have definitely stopped checking in as much as I have previously, but hey, it could be worse. You could be the Vancouver Canucks, who have a 6.1% chance and just traded away your captain. So it's that could be worse. I mean, we're still in double digits, so there's that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely not the end of the world. Obviously, our differential has been just absolutely taking a nosedive. I remember a few weeks ago we were talking about, yeah, we have the fewest goals in the league, but also some of the fewest goals against. This is not really the case anymore. Last pod we were talking about how the goaltending was kind of an issue, allowing a lot of goals above expected. This week wasn't really the case, but we're now projected to be at 84.8 points. But we are 23rd in Money Puck Power Rankings. Last week on the pod, we were 26th. So we moved up 3 in the power rankings. And that's due to slightly better goaltending, and a huge uptick in expected goals for in the last few games. And that's not to say that, like, compared to the rest of the league, we had a lot of expected goals for. It was pretty much just like NHL average the past few games. But compared to a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you guys remember, we got like shut out in like scored like 1 goal and like
I
two out
forgot
of
that till now, so thanks for
two
that.
out of 2 out of 4 games in a row. So
How'd you bring that back?
yeah, so that's been an uptick from there. Obviously, we'll get into the vibe check, but biggest sore spot continues to be the scoring chances, and really cashing in on those, and going above and beyond, and getting goals above expected. It's been the real thing this year. The team hasn't really done. Um, so yeah.
All right, well, let's get into that vibe check. At our current state where we are at, we have a record of 12 wins, 12 losses, and 6 overtime losses. So right back into the mid of things like we have been in the past. We had 4 games this past week. We had a 4-1 loss against the Wild, a 3-2 overtime win. Hell yeah, let's get excited for that over the Kings. A 5-3 loss to the Mammoth and a 3-1 loss to the Sabres. I think there are some good things that we'll get to later. There are some not so good things that we will definitely dive deeper into later. But in the broad sort of sense, where are you? Where are you sitting with this team?
I mean, I was just talking about how we had those low scoring games a couple weeks ago, and really this week, with the Wild loss and the Sabres loss, we're really kind of looking at two to one losses, okay? Because there were 2 empty net goals in the Wild game and 1 empty net goal in the Sabres game. So, like, obviously, you're down 2-1 at the end of the game. You're not just going to eat that. You're going to pull the goalie and try to score. So, I mean, really, 2 out of these 4 games, we're posting 1 goal the entire game, and you just can't win doing that at all. You might be able to get away with that if it's 1 out of every 10 games or something, but 2 games in the span of 4, only putting up 1 goal is just unacceptable. And it wasn't even really like we didn't generate the chances. I think we had like 3 expected goals for in the Sabres game. It's probably something similar for the Wild game. And I forgot who said it on Twitter, but they were just saying that they're tired of the Kraken making like every goalie look like some superstar, and it's kind of true. Um, it's just I a couple things, right? Like when you're not catching in on expected goals, there are usually only 2 factors that I think of, and it's either a finishing issue or a luck issue. Um, Probably it's probably always a little bit of both, but definitely a finishing problem. Like we're missing our best finisher with McCann, so when those chances are going elsewhere, um, it's it's just not going to cash in as much as with McCann. He's an absolute sniper. Um, the goaltending this week, like I said, was great. Joey had an amazing game against the Kings where there were like 5 expected goals against, and he only held them to 2. So that was insane. Defense is still solid. Obviously, there was a big blunder last game, but really, it's just the offense that's lacking. I mean, we can say it a million times, but that's just what's going on. I think the good news, if you want a positive spin here or whatever, the good news is that like I went to that Sabres game in person as a fan. It was a fun game to watch outside of the last 10 minutes of the first period. It was competitive. It was fun. We got a lot of chances, especially like Gaudreau. We got a right chance. And yeah, it was a fun game. And we saw Newman, Winterton, Myers, Gaudreau, Melanson all absolutely buzzing out there, generating a ton of chances, especially like Winterton, Newman, like those 2 were generating a ton just among themselves. I think they were on a line with Shane Wright, or was it? I think they were with Shane Wright. That line was buzzing. Gaudreau had Gaudreau robbed himself of a goal, and then Melanson was just. We'll talk about him later, but yeah, absolutely super fun to watch Melanson in person. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, when it comes to the vibe check of this team or how I'm kind of feeling right now, I'm kind of numb to it all. Like there's a lot of frustration, so to speak, but like at the same time, it's same crack in different year. Like in my opinion, when you look at this, there's still a lot of glaring errors that we still have with this team that just seemingly just can't be fixed. Doesn't matter who you bring in as general manager, doesn't matter who your coach is. We still have the same issues, and they just continue to run off each year. Um, yeah, that's just how I feel. The fact that we're only in game 30, like this season has felt like forever, and we're not even halfway through this season. And that's kind of how I'm feeling. Like I'm feeling exhausted watching these games. Most of these games, and like I was talking to you guys before we even started recording, like most of these games are just on in the background at this point. Like there's no excitement to watch a Kraken game right now because there's no real hope in achieving like a win, or like we're gonna put 2 or 3 games together to have some form of a run. Like that's just the Kraken right now. Um, Another thing I just like to bring up is that the fact the Sabres beat us 3-1 and then the next day, today, fired their general manager, I think just kind of shows where the Kraken are at. They're unwilling to make moves. They're just, stick to the status quo and hope things kind of work out. Like we can complain and we can talk about, how unfortunate we've been with injuries, but like at the end of the day, every team just has injuries. This team is just not good. And I think the longer we wait, the more the biggest issue that I really have is that I think management and ownership thinks that this team can still contend. And I think as fans, there's so many fans that are saying, what are you talking about? We've been through this way too much. Just do the right thing and get assets where you can and let the kids play. I don't know about you, but it's just seemingly frustrating to watch this season in, season out. Yeah, game 30, and I'm just kind of written the season off at this point. I just don't see this team, competing for a playoff spot but at the same time, I don't see this team competing for a top draft pick. This team is going to find a way to miss out on that top 5, 8 tier talent and somehow draft in like that 10 to 12 spot, but still miss out on a playoff spot. And that's just kind of where I'm at, where like management and ownership just are more focused on getting bums in seats, but getting bums in seats for the worst reasons possible. It's not to bring exciting Kraken hockey, it's to bring money into their pockets and provide a boring ass team.
No,
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Know what gets people in the seats? Chandler Stevenson bobbleheads. That's what gets people in the seats.
I still wish they gave him teeth.
I want to take you back in a little time machine here to December 18th, 2024. So just about a year ago, 3 days shy of a year ago. You know what happened on December 18th, 2024?
What's up?
We acquired Capo Caco from the New York Rangers in exchange for Will Borgen and a bunch of other stuff that went different ways in between. And I'm just hoping that in these few days between now and the holiday freeze that happens, that we can get some sort of exciting thing happening here. I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and we'll talk about this more when we get there. But in the Sabres game, Mason Marchment was out with a tummy bug. He was down with illness. We had Jamie Alexiak up in the press box a few games prior for performance discipline issues, however it was worded. But I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and say that hopefully we're just keeping these guys fresh and off the ice because there's some trade dealings in the works and something might happen to infuse some new life into this team, because I know we were feeling pretty down and out last year, and then Capo Caco came in and we felt kind of a little bit of a spring in our step.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can just get something new. We got a lot of free agents out there who we want to get something for. So maybe there's someone out there who can use a middle six guy to help them out. Do you have any thoughts on my conspiracy theorizing?
I definitely agree with that it would be fun. I don't know, from a team philosophy point of view, I don't know if adding it at the detriment of your prospects is even a good idea right now. I have no idea. I feel like we have an aging core. And I feel like the core has been kind of the same the last couple of years, which is probably why it feels so much so similar. Because we honestly, like, it is pretty much the same team. Obviously, there's a couple new pieces here and there, but I don't know. I honestly I just hope it starts to work out with what we have right now, because that's probably the best way forward.
Could you imagine if
a man can dream?
Yeah. Could you imagine if we traded Mason Marchment? Like, that would be the most like depressing tenure as a Kraken. Like, in my opinion, like
He's coming off that 2-goal game.
Yeah, but like
he's forgetting about Joe Veleno.
Okay, but like to actually play a game. Like
okay.
Like,
Bar Poulet
excited for Marchment.
Oh yeah.
And like Marchment just I'm gonna be honest, Marchment hasn't lived up to the hype. Like he's brought up a couple laughable moments, like the fake psych out punch and like a couple of goals here and there.
Yeah, he
like
was
falling over.
He was on an insanely good team, so he's probably just benefiting from the stars being absolutely unreal.
He was a mid guy on a great team, and now he's a mid guy on a mid team.
Same with Stevenson, right?
So I'm just gonna highlight that. Why do I want any player, even like a star-studded player on a different team, to come to the Kraken? Because even if you have like a top line player in the NHL and they're like, hey, insert name has been traded to the Kraken, every single one of us is gonna be like, damn it, he's gonna be a mid-level player.
You've reached the take, which is that you got to build a good team. It's in hockey, it's not just one or two guys. So that's why I'm saying I don't think we should sell out for one or two guys.
Let's just re-sign everybody again for another 5 years. Screw it. Let's just bring
no. But it's got to be. I think it's got to be kind of slow and steady. But you're right. I mean, we do got to be moving in the right direction and not in the wrong direction, obviously. But yeah, I think we'll talk a little bit more later about like our assets and stuff like that.
The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey Hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. And new customers, this one is just for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. All right. Well, let's get into the things that we usually talk about as we break down games a little more in depth. First of all, I need to issue an apology on behalf of the podcast, because if you remember from last week, I got so excited.
Yeah, you were gloating about
that
no
we
injuries.
did not have to include an injury update for the team for last week. We played the hype horn. We were excited. We were dancing around. It was crazy. And then the podcast curse bit, and the next day we found out that Berkeley Catton was put on injured reserve with an upper body injury and is week to week. So sorry guys, that's my bad. I shouldn't have even mentioned anything. That is my bad.
Yep.
So that sucks. We have Berkeley Catton out. What sucks even more is Jared McCann has been placed on the 3-week injured reserve after a lower body injury that occurred during the Kings game. His rough season just continues to go on. The only way I can really describe this is he got tripped up by the goalie. Can't remember who it was that night, but he got like wishboned, for lack of a better term. His leg just got yanked one way and his momentum kept going the other way. And I was like, ooh, that's a pretty nasty groin tear there. So hopefully he's able to, I think they said like 3 weeks, something like that. So not 6 weeks like we have experienced with a bunch of guys in the past. Some positives. Both Matt Murray and Berkeley Catton have returned to practice. Leighton Lambert said they were both still a little ways away, and Catton was wearing a red no contact jersey, so he's not quite ready to go yet. We also have a case of the Kraken flu going through the locker room, apparently. Mason Marchment missed the Sabres game with an illness, but he was back at practice today. Vince Dunn and Capo Caco missed Monday's practice with illness, and like I said, Lambert just says that there's something starting to go through the locker room, so no one is immune to that holiday flu that goes through. But one cool thing that happened that we always like to highlight too is Ben Myers was called up from Coachella Valley, and he scored his first goal as a Kraken against the Mammoth, which is awesome, but it sucks because it was in like the last
garbage time
22 seconds of a 5-2 loss at that point, and then he scored.
It was a beauty though.
It was great, but like no one was there.
The Mammoth had all given up, but it was a beauty still.
He's never going to forget
had any reason to celebrate it.
Yeah, he's never going to forget his first goal as a Kraken. But at the same time, it's like the most useless goal, like in the game, being like, "Hey, we scored. We're still down by 2."
Yeah, but yeah, things are looking pretty dire in the injury and sickness department. When will this ever come to an end?
It's not. I honestly feel like we're just playing catch up for all the seasons that we had positive luck in the injury department, and the hockey gods are just like full blown like, this is your season where everything is going to go downhill. I don't know what happened. I don't know who hired which Etsy witch to like put a curse on Jared McCann, but my God, that man has had the worst luck this season, and just can't catch a break.
Yo, Matt, question. What's the status on Schwartz?
I think he's still
a couple weeks,
week to week.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
2-3 more weeks.
I was just gonna say Alex is definitely right to bring up that every team deals with injuries, but I would make a case that on the Seattle Kraken, with the horrendous scoring skill of most of the players, that having Schwartz and McCann out is probably one of the biggest hits that any team could take. in terms of the comparison between like how much you need those guys.
Yeah. They
Um,
are our McDavid and Draisaitl.
absolutely, absolutely. And literally, I think we could literally still be in the win column if we just had those two guys and swapped them out for another two on our team. I mean, look at it. Like last game, I went to the game with my brother, and he's just like, he's a Predators fan, but he's like, dude, you guys have so many no-name players, and I just stopped to look around at like everyone on the ice. It was just some like AHL guy that was up. No.
I looked at the lineup actually against the Sabres, and I was going through them. I'm like, man, this team is rough.
Yeah.
Like
So an objective fan of the NHL that doesn't really know the Kraken, they're just kind of looking at us and be like, whoa, why do they have all these like random people?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
injury bug is definitely hitting us hard.
Like I would agree with you.
Newman, Winterton.
That's what he said. He's like this Newman guy.
Who else? You got Myers, Cartier,
He had Melanson last game.
Melanson. That's like
Melanson, yeah.
5 AHL guys that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I would agree with you in the sense that like the Kraken are dealing with a lot of injuries, and like when like a team like McDavid is out or like Bedard is out, everyone's like, whoa, like that's bad. Like if we have McCann and like Schwartz out, and like that's like that's like comparing like those
End
two
of the
guys.
world.
Like that would be like as if Wayne Gretzky was out, because like other than like
Yeah, end of the world.
he's the only guy that can score. Let's be
And Matt,
serious
you
here.
said 5 AHL players, and I just want to bring up they're all forwards.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like any of those slot into D, so that's like half of our 12 forwards in the game are AHL players. And you wonder why, in the first period when they post 3 shots, or we have the least expected goals for in the league. And I mean, that's a huge thing.
But one sec. Well, he's out now, but you put Berkeley Catton in there too. 6 out of 12
Exactly.
are baby squids.
Exactly.
Like it just shows you, like, and I think that's like even, yeah, like the depth of this team is horrible. like
It
like,
has
really
it has
is.
potential. Like I said,
It has
it's mid to
potential.
high, and mid to low. So yeah, you couple that with like Beniers is kind of off, Kako's kind of off, and then you're like, okay, 6 of our 12 forwards are AHL guys, and then like 2 or 3 out of the other 6 are like kind of off, which normally is okay on an NHL team. But when you only have 6 NHL forwards and then like 2 or 3 of them are kind of off, it's like, okay, now we have no one.
The fact that the top scoring player on our team is Jordan Eberle with 19 points. Like we're not talking like
He's
hey,
been the
Matty-
man. He's been the man.
He's been the
like,
man,
yeah.
but it's not like it's been Matty Beniers who's like this young kid. It's like, hey, our aging like what 34, 35-year-old captain is the
35.
35-year-old captain is our leading point scorer on this team. By the
And
way, we still don't have someone in the 20s for
You
points.
also have to think that like with those 6 out of 12 being AHL, like the way that other teams play, those 2 AHL lines are not going to wear down the opponent as much, and it's going to lead to like the defense too. It's not going to wear down the defense. So now the defense is able to play the 6 out of 12 NHL forwards a lot better. So it's a huge downstream effect. So I'd make a case that our injuries are an absolutely massive factor, even if other teams have been more injured this year.
Yeah, but still, I still like say like you can make all the excuses in the world, being like, well, we have a bunch of injuries, being like, yeah, every team though does, and like other teams find ways to win. This team can't score. Like no matter who is in the lineup, they can't score.
Depth scoring is not a thing for us. No.
But even like the top scoring isn't a thing for us right now. Like who has the most goals? Like the most goals on the team is Eberle, and he's got 9.
Yeah, I mean that like with McCann and Schwartz out, it's just kind of toast. Like with those,
Oh yeah,
you need those guys.
if Eberle is not in the lineup and Schwartz is still injured, your top goal scorer is Brandon Montour with 6 goals.
That needs to be a headline somewhere. That's insane.
Like that's where we're at with this team. If you have your captain out,
6 goals.
if you have Schwartzy out, which he already is, Brandon Montour would be your team leading goal scorer with a whopping 6 goals.
And wait, how many games are we into the season? Like 8
30.
or 10 or
We are 30 games into the season.
Can you imagine that? Like Everly's out and we're playing our like 32nd game of the year, and it's like top goal scorers per team, and it's like Bedard with like 30 and Montour with 6.
Well, he shares it with Stevenson. Like that's where we're at, though.
Do you think Monty can play center? Can we like bump him up and bring Muzz
He
in?
can absolutely play
He
forward,
probably could. I'm
Okay, let's
still,
but then who plays defense?
Muzz. We bring
Oh
her
yeah, yeah,
down.
yeah.
yeah.
No, that actually might be a play.
All right, I'll hey, you met Wiki
I
before the
did.
game. We should have
Met Todd Wiki before
too
last
bad too
game.
bad we didn't have this information before and you could pass that along on a little sticky note.
He told my brother to keep playing bad collegiate hockey because you never know with the injuries he might need him. That's what he told my brother.
That's amazing. And that was on the record. That's going to be in the Seattle Times tomorrow when this episode comes out. Just to wrap that up, all I'm hearing from this conversation is that Jordan Eberle is elite and we should sign him for like 6 more years when his
Yes.
contract's up. All righty. Next, what we're going into is our goalie updates. I will say very broadly in this, I was a fan of this week in the goalie department for 2 reasons, and then Derek, I'm sure, will dive into this much deeper. My first big reason, something I've been clamoring for in recent weeks, is the games were split between the two guys. It wasn't Joey playing 3 and Grew playing 1 or Joey playing all 4. It alternated Grew, Joey, Grew, Joey. Another thing, all the games this week, the save percentages were 900 or higher. That's a pretty big deal for this team. And then, yeah, lots of other uh, bigger things going into that outside of that. How are we feeling about the goalie updates? Derek, do you want to hit us with some big
Yeah,
time numbers
absolutely.
to start?
This is definitely like a smiley week, like rosy cheeks if you're a Kraken goalie fan, because Matt said it perfectly, 900 or above for every single game. That's absolutely awesome. I just wanted to do some high level, goals saved above expected per 60, as I do. Um, minimum games played 5. We're still sticking with that. Philly Grewsteak, Philip Grubauer, clawed his way into the top 32. He is 31st in the league, and Joey Decord is 50th in the league in goals saved above expected per 60. And it really is nice to see a split this week, and really none of the games being able to be pinned on goaltending at all. You had 2 goals against, 2 goals against, 3 goals against, and 2 goals against. And in 2 of those games where we only allowed 2 goals against, we only put up 1 goal for. And it's just horrible. It reminds me of the Mariners, honestly, the last couple of years where it's like the pitching will hold the other team to 1 run, but the Mariners put up 0. And that's what we're going through with the Kraken. And then to break down the expected goals numbers for each of these games, in the Wild game, Grew had 2.25 against and allowed 2, so a little bit positive there. The big game this week was the LA Kings game. They generated nearly 5 expected goals for, and Joey only allowed 2. So absolutely stole that game. And that's what I was talking about last week. Like Prime Joey, he steals these games for you. That Edmonton game where he was off, that could have been a game where he stole for us. We saw it in the Kings game. So the defense allowing an absolute bombardment of shots against Joey, but he stood strong. The Mammoth game, pretty much 3 expected goals against. Grew allowed 3, so that's all you really can ask out of a backup, honestly. And then for the Sabres game, Joey faced 3 expected goals against and only allowed 2. So Joey's been posting a lot of really good numbers in terms of expected goals, goals saved above expected, and it's time for him to start his rebound arc of getting back into the top 32 because of the couple weeks he had where he was a little bit off. He seems like he's back now, so that's really, really good news. Unfortunately, the offense needs to find it too if our goalies are finding it, and so that's the next step. We'll see if that changes next week. Let's go.
Yeah, in terms of goaltenders, I have nothing to complain about. They've been stellar this week. Grubauer and Joey have been doing exactly what we need them to do. If they're posting save percentages above 900 each game, they're doing their job. You can't expect them to save every shot. If they're letting 1 or 2 goals in a game, and saving more shots than, goals expected, then, like I said, that's what you're paying them to do. So if the offense can't get the job done, realistically, at the end of the day, you can't blame the goaltending. And that's something that I think we can really highlight this season, is that it's not a goaltending issue. It's not a defensive issue. It's a full-blown forward issue. Can't score, at the end of the day. Doesn't matter how many saves Joey makes or Grew makes. If they let in 2 goals and, the offense gets 1 goal, that's just what it's going to happen. Interesting is the thing that I'm very interested to see what happens is when Matt Murray comes back, because he is getting closer to that. Will the Kraken hold on to a three goaltender 10, like three goaltenders again, or is one going to be sent down to the minors or traded? Because you start to wonder if perhaps they trade Matt Murray, or like because I don't know if they're going to send him down. But are they going to send down Grew? But I honestly don't think at this point Grew's deserve to be sent down.
No,
So it
I
puts a lot of
yeah.
question marks into what's going to happen in probably, I would say, early January.
I think what you'd have to do is you got to show the league that Murray isn't like, horrible due to the injury or whatever. So play him
Yeah,
like
not damaged
two
goods.
Yeah.
yeah, play him like 2 or 3 games. He still has, I think, 5 games played, and he's second on this list still in terms of goals saved above expected per 60. So
What? Who's beating him now?
it's been he's
Who
been he's been
dethroned our
second.
king?
Oh, it's Jonathan Quick, 7 games played. Jonathan Quick is number 1 in the league in goals saved above expected. He is the absolute premier backup goalie right now for
What
the
is this?
Rangers.
2013?
Yeah, the top 5: Jonathan Quick, Matt Murray, Logan Thompson is the best with more than like 10 games played. He has 23 games played. Ilya Sorokin fourth, and then Devin Cooley fifth.
Well, go Matt Murray. One thing I want to hit on here before we go out is I want to just restate the thing that Derek said, that I thought was very eloquently said, was that it was nice having a week where we couldn't put any of the blame on the goalies, because that's been kind of our song and dance for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, oh my God, why are we giving up 7 goals in back-to-back games and stuff like that? This team sucks.
Yeah, and we
But
were scoring goals at that time. So
we
it reminds
were.
me of that thing where it's like not the slider. If you slide the goalies over, then the offense unslides, and it's like you can't get all of them over at the
Yeah.
same time.
You're building your skill tree in the video game. You can only
You have to sacrifice.
sacrifice so much. Okay, we touched on this guy before, but we're gonna get a little more in depth in it. I wanted to have a quick chat about Jacob Melanson because with the injuries to Berkeley Catton and Jared McCann, as well as Mason Marchment being out sick before the Sabres game, the Kraken made a call to Jacob Melanson of the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Though he was not on the score sheet, I personally was largely impressed with him and his physicality, watching him dish out 7 hits in his mere 7 minutes of playing time. Excuse me, during the game. He also seemed to be doing a great job of getting under the skin of the Buffalo players, so he kind of has like that Yanni to him, that turbo to him, kind of poking the bear and seeing what happens. Not like when Mush does it and he cowers away and just wears itself out. Um, I think with those hits, there was like very early in the game, he had like 3 hits in less than a minute. He was just hucking his body around, and I love to see it. But Derek, I saw a tweet from you earlier today about some thoughts on what his performance could mean for the team down the line as well. You kind of alluded to before what it was like watching him in person at that game.
Yeah, I just wanted to say first, I was at that game, and when Melanson came out, you see 63 on the jersey, and you kind of pause for a second. You're like, wait, who's that? And then, yeah, obviously it's Melanson, but comes out throwing hard body against Rasmus Dahlin and their captain, okay? And he's instantly pissing him off. Like, Dahlin wanted to fight. Like it was insane. He even got Dahlin's like helmet like all super like high up, like back, and Dahlin just skated around like that for like a minute, where his entire hair was just exposed. So Melanson was throwing it, and dude, he's got to be super strong because he like his frame. He doesn't even look like he'd be throwing like that, like compared to like we talk about Alexiak or whatever. His frame looks kind of smaller, but he's just absolutely leveling people out there. I think you said what he threw 7 hits in 7 minutes of TOI. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, right, I'm like, okay, that guy is dope for a team, right? I don't know if that's necessarily for our team. I feel like that guy super cheap, right? He can be a guy that's starting stuff, that's like showing aggression, that's hounding people. A better team might want to pick him up literally just for their fourth line. It's super cheap. So that's a thing, right? We also are just we're seeing a lot of these like cheaper AHL guys start to do stuff. And so I think with this buildup, you have like Newman, you have Winterton, you have not AHL really, but like Gaudreau. You have all these guys that are sort of like lower profile, and we're starting to like build up this big collection of guys that could be serviceable NHL players. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that kind of shows a lot of good stuff for our like pool of players that we could potentially trade. Because it's not like we're bringing up all these guys and they're just fizzling out and they're not doing anything. They're actually, honestly, in the Sabres game, I noticed them a lot more than our core guys. So I think that might be good when we're talking about trading assets, trying to get picks back, or trying to get NHL proven players in return, that we could use. A lot of these guys are young and cheap, and or just older and cheap. So I think that's good for our pool of potential trade bait. Yeah.
I will
Well,
say, just real quick for the tail of the tape, he is 6 foot even and 207 pounds. So he's not even that big of a guy, but he's, yeah,
Yeah, dude's
throwing.
strong.
like while I agree with you with the fact of like having a solid pool of young talent, Jacob Melanson, in my opinion, has earned every right to play in the NHL, and we desperately need a player like Melanson on this team. This team, like, no matter who is out there, like if there's a dirty check or whatnot, most of the Kraken team just sits there and watches. Melanson's one of those guys that will not take any of that, and you need that type of guy on the team who can realistically be out there, protecting guys. Because if you've watched any of the AHL games that he's played in with the Firebirds, he doesn't take stuff from anyone. Like he'll charge it at anybody if he needs to do so. And I think that's what this team needs. This team's this team realistically without Melanson is unwilling to protect each other. Like at what point in this season or years past has a player jumped in other than like Vince Dunn and everyone's screaming at Dunn to not jump in because he's one of our players that can produce points to defend, a teammate. And
Mhm.
Melanson, I'm not saying that his only role is to, smash bodies and knock people out with his fists, but like we need a guy like that. And if that's going to serve as a fourth line guy, that's going to put 7 minutes on the board, but deliver like 7 or 8 bone jarring hits and piss off the other team, then sign me up, because the Kraken are playing such flaccid hockey. Like he brings an element to the game that's actually exciting. And I think
Yeah, as
that's
a
something
fan,
that you need.
it's probably the most fun I've had watching a game recently.
Exactly.
So for entertainment, I definitely agree. I'm just wondering if potentially we could trade, what he's good at, like the hitting stuff, for someone who's maybe like not as good at anything except for like generating offense or something like that. But
No.
that's kind of my only thought, because I feel like offensively we're just so horrible that I don't even know if we can justify having a forward spot for that quirky hitting type guy when it's like none of the other guys can even score. So we need the scoring part.
And this is nothing towards Melanson, but like I don't see him on any NHL team in the top like 20 teams. And that's nothing towards his skill level, but like he's definitely like a bottom line type player, but only for a hand picked amount of teams. And right now the Kraken fit that mold. Other than that, I still think he needs to develop his game. And I still think he's third, fourth line player at best. But for a team that has no fire, so to speak,
Yeah.
why not play Melanson? Because, like I said, he's going to bring that element that we've been missing all season long. And definitely, if he's going to deliver that type of play, then he's earned the right to play over, I'd say, half the offense. Like
Yeah, I
if
definitely
if
agree with
none
that.
if nobody else is scoring, then why not put him in the lineup,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Well, speaking to his development, just looking at his stats with Coachella over the last couple seasons, in 23-24, he had 18 points in 62 games. Last season, he had 13 points in 42 games, and this season he has 14 points in 23 games. So
Oh
he's
wow.
he's pacing to have his best season down there, like on an
Nice.
incline. So like he already in half the amount of games has surpassed his points from the previous
Yeah.
season. If we want young guys to come up and start scoring and getting chances, give me Jagger Furcus. Just for a game. Just for a game. Have him come up. Yes, Alex, let me have my fun.
Absolutely.
Bring
Give
him
him a
up.
full season. Give him a full season with Coachella.
Didn't he not play the full season last year?
No, like I want him to have like a solid season. Like last year was that first season. This year he's doing an incredible job. Like get him used to that level and really develop some skills. Like if we're at the end of the season, the Firebirds aren't going to make the playoffs and the Kraken aren't making the playoffs, and bring him up. bring him up in like February, March, and just let him play. But like
Well,
right now,
a note for Furcus though. Last year, in terms of development, 69 games played, 36 points. This year, 23
oh yeah,
games played, 23 points. He's
oh yeah,
playing
no,
great
he's
in the
he's
AHL.
he's on a tear. He's doing incredible. But like the one thing I always worry about when you bring a guy up like that is that I don't know if they utilize him properly up here. Because let's be serious, the Kraken haven't really utilized anybody properly when it comes to younger players. So let's just let him develop more this season in the AHL. Because like, where are you going to put him? You're going to bring him up and put him on the third line or in the fourth line. He's not going to cook.
I mean, we're heading that way. We're heading towards the full AHL roster, Tank for McKenna era. So
I'm already
Let's
there.
just swap places. Send everybody down to Coachella. We'll have like a wife swap situation. We'll just
yeah,
And we'd still find some way not to be successful in the AHL.
yeah, probably.
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, let's talk about some happy things. We had, again, a couple milestones happen this week. First off, Chandler Stevenson, Channy Steves, Stevie himself, played in his 600th career NHL game on Monday against the Wild, and he recorded an assist in that game, so good for him. Vince Dunn hit the 200-point mark with the Kraken against the Kings. He is the second player to reach this mark after Jared McCann. He has also tied Jordan Eberle and Jared McCann for the most OT goals in Kraken history with 3. And then one more fun point, I'd included this one because we've talked about this in the past, is Wednesday's game against the King was Chandler Stevenson bobblehead night. And for those keeping track, like I said, we have, with the win, the Kraken have moved to 11-5 all-time on bobblehead nights. So if you want your chance to hopefully see a win, go to Brandon Montour bobblehead night in a little bit. And if you get an extra one, shoot me a DM so that I can get one. Okay, thank you. Any thoughts on these
I love the
milestones?
bobblehead record.
Yeah.
We were following that last year. Really love that.
Why
If
don't
only
we just like
we just need to start wearing the Abyss jerseys on bobblehead nights. I think that's the
no, because then that's
solution.
cursed. No,
I don't even know
It'll
what would
balance
happen
out.
then.
It'll balance out.
we would just tie. We would somehow find a way to tie in overtime.
It'd be like the 0-0 shootout against the Islanders.
Exactly. Like, and we'd lose in the shootout still.
Yeah, just a draw due to exhaustion.
But I just think at this point, like, just make a bobblehead every night. Be like, hey, it's game 36. Who are we gonna do? Derek, you're gonna
give me
be
a John
bobblehead.
Randall Avon bobblehead.
Start
Ice
doing ice crew
bobbleheads.
bobbleheads.
There you go. Ice crew bobbleheads. You just get one of the ice crew members. You
Dude,
don't know
we
who you're
should
gonna get. Just do
Definitely
one
do
of them.
that.
They just model one after Derek, so it's bald, and then each week they can draw different hair on it to be a different
Oh
person.
my gosh.
Oh, there's like a little like Velcro patch, and you get like new Velcro patches each game.
There you go. All right. Lastly, and I don't know how this conversation is going to go, but I just have one general question of how about that defense? Because even before the season started, the narrative for this team was that they were going to be very defensively minded under this Lane Lambert system. And through the season so far, we talked about how the Kraken are in the top of, or we're at the top of the league for defense and bottom for offense. But we mentioned earlier, those things are starting to maybe balance out. Well, not even balance out. The one's starting to tank down closer to the other one. And what we're doing just isn't sustainable. I think, for example, the goals against Buffalo or by Buffalo against us were particularly heinous, especially the second one where Joey was forced to face two Sabre players who just snuck on behind the play and scored uncontested. So Derek, other than the eye test being there, are there any numbers saying certain things in this department?
Well, I just want to say first, like being at the game, the eye test part, like the first goal, I think like Alexiak messed up a little bit, and then it was like a Riker Evans 2-on-1. It just happened super fast. That was a gross goal. The second goal, like Dunn was trying to like clear it, got batted down, and then instead of just coming home to like play what was going to be a 3-on-1, Dunn decided to just kind of like half challenge and not even really challenge, and then just turn around and look at the two players from like 30 feet away. I think we were in the middle of a change or something, which again, like I don't even know why a change would be happening right there. But so a couple lapses last game, but in terms of the season as a whole, we used to be 32nd in expected goals for and first in expected goals against. But now we're 32nd in expected goals for with 2.07 per game. First is 3.43, Colorado. So huge gap there. We're 10th best now in expected goals against. So we're sliding 2.55 expected goals against. And first is 2.21. And I forgot what team that is. I think it's Ottawa. So I just wanted to make a point here. It's a little off topic, but it's way better to be good at offense than it is to be good at defense, because you see the range here. We're like first between first in expected goals against and last in expected goals against. It's like a 0.5 goals difference. But for last in expected goals for and first in expected goals for, it's like a 1.5 goal difference. So the offenses are just like this free range, like it's way different. Okay, so it's way easier to be good at defense, and it's way better to be good at offense, obviously. Um, a side note on the offense part. I know we're talking about defense, but we gotta keep talking about this offense. We're league last in a stat, and you could probably guess it. It's shots on goal, with 567. For reference, Colorado has 873 shots on goal. A crazy stat here is that the Kraken have 912 unblocked shot attempts. So shot attempts that are not blocked by a player, the lanes that are not blocked. Only 576 or 567 of them, 6-7, got home to hitting a goalie. Okay, that's just insane.
We're damn stormtroopers. We can't hit the target.
No kidding.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Just need better shots. That's all it is.
Yeah, but what happens if you shoot the puck high and it goes off the glass and hits the back of the goalie and is that a shot on goal?
No,
That's
because
an
it was just
that's an
casually
unblocked
spaced.
shot
That's-
attempt
that's,
that didn't hit on goal, but it is a goal.
It
Yes.
was just
That's,
lazily down the ice.
That's just a little peek behind the curtain to a very extensive conversation we had before we started about what is an actual shot on goal. Maybe I'll make like a little YouTube bonus of that. We went down the rabbit holes.
Yeah. No, but in terms of defense, I think we kind of for myself when Lambert mentioned that they're going to be far more defensive this season, I was kind of worried about it just because you can be defensive minded as much as you want, but I don't think you can maintain that for a full season. And I think that's what we're seeing now is that defensive mindedness starting to slip. And we're having more lapses. Like the Sabres game is such a brilliant example of that. Like this game could have been vastly different if we played smarter defensively. You can't blame Joey for that because he's just trying to defend the net when he has no defensive help. But and just kind of echoing what Derek said, yeah, you can be great defensively. It's going to be boring as hell, but like, hey, hats off to you. But if you can't score, like, it doesn't matter how good you are defensively. If you can't score, it means absolutely nothing. So I feel like we can talk about defense and being like, oh, we're great defensively, but if we're not good offensively, being defensively is useless because at the end of the day, sure, you're saving everything or you're saving a large quantity of shots, but if you can't get the puck in the net, it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day.
Well, you know, they always say the best defense is a good offense and not the other way around. So do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Derek, did you shovel this week?
I did.
Do you have shovel stories for us?
Yeah, I have a couple things.
Sorry, that was a really like unenthusiastic throw.
It's okay.
Just
I think we're good.
Okay.
Oh, you want to redo it? I
No,
think we're
no,
good.
no, no. You
Okay.
just go. It's just awkward now. So
Um, Way to make things awkward, bro.
sorry.
But no, so we handed out the Chandler Stevenson bobbleheads, and every time I would give someone one, and they're like, "Who is it?" I'm like, "Everyone's favorite, Chandler Stevenson." And a lot of people were hyped, but some people weren't. I mean, what are you gonna do? The Montour bobblehead, that is probably gonna be
Those
like,
are gonna fly.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I've worked a lot of these bobblehead giveaways and a lot of these like gravy boat giveaways and stuff. The Chandler Stevenson giveaway, it was like it felt like we weren't gonna get rid of them. Like like it just I think it was because it was an earlier game. It was like 5 p.m. on like a Sunday or something. I don't remember really. No, it was like 5 p.m. on a I don't remember. It was like it was an earlier game. But but yeah, the traffic coming into the doors that night was like really slow. So we were concerned. We are like, here, take a couple extra. No, but, the other thing I wanted to say, the past couple weeks, I don't know if I've said this on here. There has been a development in the Ice Crew locker room. Not only are we in the Seattle Torrent locker room, which is dope now, but the rise of chess. Okay, we've been running chess before every single game so much, and I'm absolutely addicted to chess now, only because of my Ice Crew job. And I just wanted to mention that we got a few people that just run chess every single game. We got like the clocks, and it's like 5 minute games. It is so fun. It's exhilarating. And honestly, sometimes it's more fast paced and entertaining than the game. So, um,
We'll
yeah,
put you on a TikTok live during the game, and people can tune into that from their seats.
yeah, the chess match. Let's go. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, sweet. Well, if you're one of those people who have Chandler Stevenson bobbleheads that you don't really want anymore, I got 10 Kraken bobbleheads sitting behind me that he would love to join, and I will trade you a BTW shirt of your choice. So just I'll throw
How
that
can you
offer
resist
out there.
that?
What?
I said, how can you resist that offer?
Right? Same with the torrent carabiners that are going to be handed out
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Definitely one of those.
Guarantee you that the Monty bobblehead is going to be on eBay for like 200 Canadian.
Oh yeah, it's going to be gross. All right. Well, Derek, thanks for sharing your stories. Did Spencer, whatever his name, fall down again this time?
He did not fall down, but I think people still think it was me, so that's not
Oh,
dope.
okay. Well, if somebody else would have fallen,
Oh, I'll let you know anytime someone
no, but I'm
falls.
saying if someone else would have fallen on Sunday, you would have an alibi because you were up in section 7 or whatever.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
So that'll wrap up things for our Kraken content for this week. Alex, can you let us know what the week ahead is looking like?
You betcha. So the Kraken play 3 games this week. It will be telling to see which games they decide to show up for. But on Tuesday, they play against the Avalanche. On Thursday, they play in Calgary against the Flames. And then on Saturday, they go visit the Shark Tank and play against San Jose. 3 games on the docket this week. I'm going to go with 2-1 for my record. I think they're going to lose to the Sharks in overtime and get absolutely destroyed against the Avalanche and still lose against the Flames.
I'm going 1-2 because we are going to do that Kraken hockey and absolutely beat the brakes off of the Avalanche and then lose the other 2 games.
For the third week in a row, I'm going 3-0 and 0, and I hope it works this week.
I do want to say as well on your hockey calendar, there are 2 Torrent games happening this week, both at home in Climate Pledge Arena. They play on Wednesday against the Charge and on Sunday against the Fleet. So lots of Seattle hockey for you to take in. And in Seattle adjacent hockey, Alex, can you hit us with a quick Coachella Valley update?
Absolutely. So the Coachella Valley Firebirds are now sitting 5th in the Pacific with a record of 15-7-3. Yager Furcus is still sitting atop the leaderboard with 11 goals and 12 assists in 23 games. So he is averaging a point a game this season, which is absolutely spectacular. They play on Wednesday against the San Jose Barracuda, Friday against the Bakersfield Condors, and then they travel on Saturday to run it back against the Condors once again. So impressive hockey. They're playing much better than the Seattle Kraken. So if you feel like watching some, prospects and their winning ways, I would definitely recommend watching some Firebird action because it's a lot more exciting and exhilarating than Kraken hockey is right now.
All right, that is for sure. And again, go check out the Torrent. The Torrent are super exciting too. And that's going to wrap things up and do it for this week. Derek, can you let everyone know where they can find a BTW online as well as a big event that is coming up next week in the podcast feed?
Absolutely. But first, head on over to bit.ly/BTW store. It's our store where we made merchandise fueled by Matt's allergy medicine delusions that somehow turn into brilliant merch ideas. We got several over there. Go check it out. Also, go check out Heather's articles. In fact, you can just go to Yahoo Sports and probably find them there at the top of your feed. But if you don't find them there, you can follow her over at Heather Nicole with no E on social media and at the Hockey News W to see more of her work. And keep your eyes on our podcast feed here to see when she drops more PWHL episodes for you to enjoy. Please also drop a follow and a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice that you're currently listening to this on. And yes, Matt, that event that is coming up next week, we have our annual Cracktivist 2025 next week. It is also episode 50, so big episode coming up. Matt, can you explain what we do for Cracktivist again?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the sitcom Seinfeld, which people Derek's age and younger probably don't know, there was an event on there called Festivus, and what they would do is they'd get together and they would air any grievances they had with their family and their friends, and we decided to do that last year, and it was a ton of fun. So just sort of some examples so you can see what's maybe coming up. Last year, my Cracktivist grievance was that I really wanted a third jersey to be announced and revealed, and now I'm really regretting that third jersey being announced and revealed because we have just been absolutely cursed with them. Heather's was that there was a lack of fight on this team, and that's still an ongoing issue. Derek's was griping with the people who said that all we needed to be able to succeed was having a change of coach, and we have now had that happen 2 different times, and it's still a problem. And Alex's was that there is no superstar on this team. We still are lacking a superstar. So I'm the only one who got their Cracktivist wish, but at what cost? And I think we can just maybe I'll just copy paste the segment from last year's and just put it in and see if anyone notices. But clearly the Kraken organization didn't notice. So maybe we can tweet bomb this to them. But if you out there have any Cracktivist grievances that you want to share, hop on to the Twitter machine or on Instagram, shoot us what your grievance is, and we'll maybe read those on air with the help of some friends like Mike, aka Sasquatch NHL, who will join us once again, and then maybe some other special guests as well.
All right, dope. Also, make sure to follow us on all socials. It helps us out a whole lot if you could take a second to like or comment on those videos. And keep up with all of our takes on Twitter and Instagram. And I just wanted to say, the Kraken have entered that part of the season that now feels just like Groundhog Day. But hopefully we are able to announce we get Gavin McKenna next year right here at BTW SEA. So go follow us over at BTW SEA. Thank you so much for listening. That is all, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
We going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.